Today, we are diving into a skill that is absolutely essential in the modern workplace: mastering your virtual presence. We're going to look at the specific tools and techniques that empower blind and low vision professionals to do more than just show up to video meetings. We're talking about commanding them with total confidence.
You know that feeling, right? That little jolt of anxiety right before a video call, wondering, how do I look? Am I framed okay? Well, we've all been there. But for a blind professional, this isn't just a passing thought. It's a real, tangible barrier to meeting a basic expectation of today's workplace. So how do you make sure you're perfectly centered when you can't see the screen? That is exactly the problem we are solving today.
We've broken this down into a four-part journey. First, we'll define what we call the invisible challenge. Then we'll get practical with setting your virtual stage. After that, we'll explore the tech, your digital toolkit, and finally, we'll wrap up with tips for mastering the meeting itself. All right, so let's get right to the heart of it. In this world of remote and hybrid work, being visually present has kind of become synonymous with being professionally engaged. The real challenge is living up to that unspoken rule when you don't have the ability to just glance at the screen and check your own appearance. I mean, just think about it. In most meetings, especially with sighted participants, having your camera on is pretty much the standard. It's a huge part of virtual body language and just general professionalism. This means getting your on-screen presentation right isn't just a nice little extra. It's a genuinely crucial professional skill. So, how do we start to tackle this? Well, it actually begins before you even click Join Meeting. There are some really basic, low-tech things you can do to get your physical space ready. This is all about controlling the things you can control. And the real power here is in how simple this is. First, just physically find your camera. On a laptop, it's almost always at the top, right in the center. Second, make sure the room is well lit. And this isn't just for you to look good. It's so the alignment tools we'll talk about can actually work properly. Third, do a quick check of your background. Make sure it's not too cluttered. And fourth, set a professional profile picture. Think of it as your safety net, a great fallback if you ever need to turn the video off for a moment. Now that our stage is set, it's time to bring in the tech. This section is all about the software that is specifically designed to give blind users total independence when it comes to getting perfectly aligned on camera. Honestly, the best way to think about these tools is as your own personal virtual mirror, or maybe like a digital co-pilot. They use verbal feedback to do exactly what a sighted person does with a quick look in the selfie window. They check your position, your lighting, and your framing. So there are two main players in this game. First up is Face and View, which is built right into the JAWS screen reader, and it gives you really direct commands. The other option is a brilliant free app called Can You See Me, which offers more descriptive feedback and works for everybody, not just JAWS users. Let's take a closer look at the JAWS tool. You'll need JAWS 2024 or later to use it. Now, here is the most important rule. You have to remember this. You must use it before your video is live in a meeting. If your camera is already on in Zoom or Teams, this feature just won't work. So you prep first, then you join the call. So how do you turn it on? You use what's called a layered command. You press Insert plus spacebar, then the letter F, then O. And if you want to get super precise, you can follow that up with Insert plus spacebar, F, and then D to get the exact percentages for where you are horizontally and vertically. It gives you an incredible amount of control. The feedback it gives you is just so direct. It's not vague at all. It's a crystal clear, actionable command like, you need to move right. There's absolutely no guesswork. It tells you exactly what to do, whether it's move left, right, or even tilt your head a bit. And the tool is smart enough to check your environment too. A piece of feedback like brightness is low ties right back to our preparation step. It confirms whether you got the lighting right, making sure you look your best, and that the tech can see you clearly. Okay, let's switch gears to the other great option, the Can You See Me app. Because this is a free standalone program, it is a total game changer. It means this kind of technology is available to anyone, whether they use JAWS or not, which is just huge for accessibility. Now, the feedback style here is a little different. After you hit the Enter key, it gives you a description of where you are. So instead of a direct command, you get a little status report, like this one, towards the top and in the middle. It's more descriptive, which lets you make the final adjustment yourself. But what if you want to check more than just your face? What if you want to know if that picture on the wall behind you is straight, or if you grabbed the right polo shirt? Well, that's where generative AI comes in. These tools can give you a full verbal description of everything in the frame, giving you a total environmental check for that ultimate professional polish. Two fantastic options here are JAWS Picture Smart and Be My Eyes for Windows. Now here's a little pro tip for you. The default shortcut for Be My Eyes can sometimes conflict with a JAWS command, so you might need to pop into the Be My Eyes settings and just reassign that shortcut to avoid any headaches. Okay, you're prepped, you're centered, you've joined the call, now what? This final section is all about how you maintain that professional presence and confidence for the entire duration of the meeting. So, to keep that professional polish live, just remember a few key things. Once you're centered, try to stay relatively still. If you're using a smartphone, keep it steady when you're unmuted to avoid any distracting sounds. For longer meetings, don't be afraid to quickly turn your video off, run a quick alignment check, and then pop right back on. And finally, it's always a good idea to check the participant list to see who else has their video on. It helps you gauge the vibe of the room. And to make those little rechecks totally seamless, you'll want to know these keyboard shortcuts. For Zoom, it's Alt+V to toggle your video. For Microsoft Teams, it's Control+Shift+O. Knowing these lets you manage your presence really quickly and discreetly. So here's the bottom line. Learning these tools and techniques isn't just about getting your face in the middle of a square on a screen. It's about removing a barrier. It's about leveling the professional playing field so you can command your virtual space with the exact same confidence as any of your sighted colleagues. And that really leaves us with one final thought. We've seen technology step up to solve this challenge of virtual presence. But as our world gets more and more digital, you have to wonder, what's the next great barrier that inclusive technology needs to help us overcome?
Hi everyone. If you like my video, so please give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. If you have any doubt, then you can write it in the comments section down below. I will try to answer it soon. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.